Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to The Lead. I'm Jake Tapper. We're going to begin with the politics lead and one of the biggest bombshells to date in the Russia investigation, reportedly coming from the man who once said he would take a bullet for President Trump. Now, this bombshell goes right to the heart of this question, which I cannot say any better than the late Republican Senator Howard Baker said in 1973 as Watergate was consuming the nation.
What did the president know and when did he know it?
What did the president know and when did he know it? In this case, the question is, what did President Trump know about Russian offers to help him win his election in 2016? Sources now telling CNN that his former fixer, Michael Cohen, claims that then candidate Trump, despite his many denials since, knew in advance about that June 2016 Trump Tower meeting between Donald Trump Jr., his son-in-law Jared Kushner, and former campaign chair Paul Manafort, in which a Russian government lawyer, one with ties to the Kremlin, was expected to offer dirt on Hillary Clinton. The president's former fixer is prepared to share those details with special counsel Robert Mueller, we're told. That's if Cohen's statement, and given his past, this is still a considerable if his statement is credible. But when debating who is telling the truth about all of this, it is also worth pointing out that the American people have already been lied to time and time again about this meeting and about the greater question of Russian election interference. Let's start with Donald Trump Jr.'s contradictory statements about this meeting. He said originally he'd never met with any Russians. And then when confronted with evidence, he said, quote, "It was a short introductory meeting. We primarily discussed a program about the adoption of Russian children." Of course, we now know that that statement is false, and it was courtesy of President Trump. And we know that the reason for the meeting was Donald Trump Jr. had been, in fact, promised damaging information on Hillary Clinton. Now, as for whether or not he told his father about the meeting?
Did you tell your father anything about this?
No. It was such a nothing. There was nothing to tell.
But Michael Cohen is now saying, of course, according to sources, that that's not true. Now, we should point out that Cohen is not the first to raise doubts. Former Trump campaign executive Steve Bannon told Fire and Fury author Michael Wolff, quote, "The chance that Don Jr. did not walk these Jamos up to his father's office on the 26th floor is zero." Now, those investigating what the president knew and when he knew it have always been intrigued by a particular moment during the 2016 campaign, when Donald Trump Jr.'s meeting with the Russian lawyer was in the works. Members of the Trump team were under the impression they were going to get dirt from the Russians on Hillary Clinton. And at that time, out of the blue, then candidate Trump said this.
"I am going to give a major speech on probably Monday of next week, and we're going to be discussing all of the things that have taken place with the Clintons. I think you're going to find it very informative and very, very interesting."
Candidate Trump going on to say at that campaign event that he would show how the Russians, Saudis, and Chinese had given money to the Clintons to get preferential treatment. Those remarks that he just made, you just saw him making, coming 2 days before the Trump Tower meeting. Now, attendees at the meeting say that dirt didn't materialize. And guess what? That major speech Mr. Trump promised, it never happened. Now, that was June 2016. The next month, exactly 2 years ago today, candidate Trump made this shocking request to Russia about emails that Hillary Clinton had deleted.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
Now, we now know through Mueller's indictments that the Russians targeted email accounts used by Hillary Clinton's personal office for the first time that day, that same day that then candidate Trump invited the Russians to hack a political opponent. Now, it's all food for thought when you in the public are trying to decide who to trust in this current state of affairs, which resembles the final scene in Reservoir Dogs, except with folks firing BS instead of bullets. CNN's Manu Raju joins me now. And Manu, people are interpreting all of this as Michael Cohen trying to make it clear, raising his hand to the special prosecutor, to the U.S. attorney for the Southern District. He wants to make a deal.
Yeah, no question about it, Jake. And it's also a very stunning public fallout between the president and one of his closest confidants, who, of course, is facing his own criminal investigation. And now his willingness to testify to the special counsel and contradict the president about a meeting so central to the Russia investigation could have major ramifications for both Trump and his son.
going? How's it going?
Sources tell CNN Michael Cohen is ready to tell special counsel Robert Mueller that President Trump knew in advance about the now infamous Trump Tower meeting, in which Donald Trump Jr. was expecting he would get dirt from the Russians on the Clinton campaign.
What else is on the rest of the tapes?
Cohen has privately asserted that he and others were present when Donald Trump Jr. informed Trump of the Russian offer and that Trump gave the go-ahead to have the meeting. The bombshell claim directly contradicts what Trump Jr. told congressional investigators last year. Asked by the Senate Judiciary Committee, did you inform your father about the meeting or the underlying offer prior to the meeting? Trump Jr. responded, no, I did not. He also said he did not know the identity of the person he called 3 times before and after the meeting, and whose number was blocked. The news also calls into question Cohen's own testimony before Congress and his past public statements. A source tells CNN that Cohen did not tell the House Intelligence Committee last year that Trump had advanced knowledge of the meeting. After Trump Jr. said he did not tell his father about the meeting,
There was nothing to tell.
Cohen tweeted, so proud of Donald Trump Jr. for being open, honest, and transparent to the American people. Today, Trump also took to Twitter to push back on his longtime personal fixer. I did not know of the meeting with my son, Don Jr. Sounds to me like someone is trying to make up stories in order to get himself out of an unrelated jam. Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, also denied Cohen's claims and accused him of lying.
I expected something like this from Cohen. He's been lying all week. I mean, he's been lying for years.
But that is not how Giuliani characterized Cohen just weeks ago on CNN's State of the Union.
I do not expect that Michael Cohen's going to lie. I think he's going to tell the truth. And if he does that, we're home free.
Democrats said this opens a new front in the Russia probe.
It effectively brings the issue of collusion or conspiracy right to the president's feet.
And Jake, capping this very turbulent week in the Russia investigation is this bit of remarkable news. Politico's Playbook reported this afternoon a photo of Robert Mueller waiting to board a flight at Reagan National Airport in D.C. And look behind him at that same gate, Donald Trump Jr. wearing that green T-shirt and baseball cap. Now, Mueller's office says if the other person in the photo was indeed Trump Jr., then, quote, Mr. Mueller was not aware of him and had no interaction with him. And of course, Jake, now the question is when will Trump Jr. have any interaction with the special counselor? And will that testimony stray from what he told lawmakers about that meeting with Russians? Jake?